Radio Now 100.9's Indy Connection with Emily Matheny.
Hi, I'm Emily Matheny, your host, and this week we are speaking with Greg McCauley. Greg McCauley is the CEO and co-founder of the Link Observatory Space Science Institute, now known as the Link Institute. So the Link Institute is dedicated to science education and public engagement programs in the forms of NASA missions, astronomy, and space exploration. With programs in and out of school, children and adults alike can learn about STEM and space in a variety of events, from VR experiences to TED-like talks. Here is Greg McCauley.
I founded the Link Institute in 2012. I am a former NASA guy. Originally from Kokomo, Indiana, born and raised. I graduated 1969 from Kokomo High School, and that was the just 30 days later was when Apollo 11 landed at Tranquility Base, and so I grew up during the space race. Mm-hmm. And for those in your audience that didn't experience that was a major global event. And I fell in love with space exploration like everyone else did, and was bound to determine that someday I would work for NASA, which I did. So 2 years after high school, I was in college at Indiana State University in aerospace technology to be a commercial airline pilot. And it was just time for me to get involved with NASA. And so traveled to Houston, Texas, ended up working at the Manned Spacecraft Center in Houston in a place called Building 30 in mission planning and analysis. I was Building 30 happens to be a mission control building. And so I was there for Apollo 15, Apollo 16, and on the lunar launch team for Apollo 17 and held a NASA top secret clearance.
That is so amazing.
It is. It still amazes me, I guess. I only had one job offer. I mean, there's 14,000 people or so. I'm not sure exactly how many, but the Manned Spacecraft Center, which is now the Johnson Space Center, is a huge campus of buildings. And I only had one job offer, and it was just perfect. It was just one of those things that were meant to be, I guess. And so I feel quite privileged to have been there.
And once you were finished and you've completed your NASA dream, you came back to Indiana.
I did.
But you wanted to continue inspiring the younger generation coming up to be as engaged and as loving as you were with space exploration.
Right.
And with how did it start out at the Link Observatory?
Well, I came back in 1972. December of 1972 was the end of Apollo 17, which was the end of the Apollo program completely. And so I came back to Indiana and worked for industry and got married and had kids. I mean, there was this gap in there of many, many years. We weren't really active in human space exploration at the time. And so in the early I think 2010 or 2011, I was the CEO of Advanced Imaging. It was a medical diagnostic imaging company in Carmel that I co-founded, and just really wanted to get involved with NASA again. I'm a big fan of the Jet Propulsion Lab and the robotic space exploration of our solar system, and became a speaker for NASA, unpaid, volunteer, and spoke at libraries locally on JPL missions throughout our solar system, and loved it. And I was surprised that there were just so many people that were interested in this. We just had packed crowds. And I found, and I say that in parentheses, the Link Observatory in about 2010 or 2011. And it had been built in 1939 by Dr. Getty Link, given to Indiana University in 1948. At the time it was built, it was the 8th largest observatory in the country. Of the top 10, it was the only one privately owned. IU used it for the Department of Astronomy between 48 and 88. So for 40 years, that was their primary research observatory. They retired it in 88 and locked the gates up. A local astronomy club kept the building in great shape and used it for their purposes. But I felt it needed to be more open to the public and certainly to young people, and just saw an opportunity. I'm an entrepreneur and thought I should maybe make contact with IU to see if we could come up with a solution. And they thought it was a grand idea. So in 2012, I founded the Link Observatory Space Science Institute, and kind of a long name, shortened to the Link Institute now, but opened it up to the public with public viewing events and to schools for field trips and et cetera. The first lecture I did at the observatory, there's a small conference area there. There were 6 people that showed up. Most were relatives. And I think last year, all told, with all of our venues, we were 65,000, I believe. So things have grown tremendously. And, hopefully we have inspired lots and lots of kids, not only through their visits to the Link Observatory, but through Discover Space, which is our STEM education programs that we deliver to schools throughout Indiana. I believe that we've helped inspire a large number of young people to pursue careers in science and technology.
And if a teacher's listening and they want to get involved and bring the Discover program to their school, how do they do that? I
think the best way to do it is to contact me at my email. And should I give that out, do you think? Mm-hmm. It's G. Macauley, GMCCAULEY, at linkobservatory.org. It's LINK observatory.org. Contact me. We have Kurt Williams is the vice president of our educational programming, and we'll make contact. And it's easy to bring into the schools. It's easy for the teachers to implement, and we can bring NASA directly into the classroom. It's great fun.
And I know in the past you've done stuff out at the state fair and all these other events. Can you tell me a little bit about that type of outreach?
Yeah, we had several years ago, we started as an extension of my lecturing. We started a program called Link Live, and we decided to use kind of a TED Talks format. If you've ever seen TED Talks on YouTube, it's an interesting format. Where we use high-end production and video clips and music, and we make a real show out of it. And they're hour-long presentations, and they became very, very popular. And we did Link Live at libraries and venues, the state fair, as you mentioned, all over the state of Indiana. As a matter of fact, we have one coming up now soon, if I could advertise.
Yeah, of course.
October the 25th at Bridgewater Club in Westfield. And it's open to the general public, is a Link Live presentation that's called Planet of Doom and Other Mysteries of Our Solar System. It will be an excellent program. Tickets are $10. Go on our website, and there's right on our homepage, there's a way to get tickets for that. And I would invite everyone to come out. We always have nice crowds, and we're going to be talking about these unbelievable things that are occurring in our solar system that very few people know about. So it'll be a great show. We also do VR headsets. I mean, I think we brought that. We were one of the first in the country to use that for space exploration, where people could, certainly students, could put on a VR headset and orbit above the Earth just outside the International Space Station, or walk on the surface of Mars in virtual reality. And that's been very, very successful for us. So we have a variety of programs like that we have taken to venues across the state.
Besides the Link Live that's coming up at the end of the month, what do you have planned going on for next year?
Well, we do Link Live at least once a month up in the Westfield area and around the state of Indiana. We'll be expanding that next year to additional venues. Our educational programs are growing rapidly. Our public engagement programs, not only Link Live, but our VR exhibits, and certainly observing with our robotic portable telescopes, which is absolutely magnificent. We're going to be expanding that next year as well. And, individuals, companies, typically, institutions that would like to bring this type of entertainment or public engagement to their facilities and to their events, we're certainly open to doing something like that. They should contact us because it's a great addition to other venues.
And one of the things that you've done in the past, I remember when the eclipse came through, you made a special trip
We did.
Can you talk a little bit about that?
That was fantastic. We originally, Kurt Williams had mentioned that we should put together a tour and go down to Kentucky. The eclipse itself, to be able to stand in the shadow of the moon, which is about 70 miles in diameter as it moved across the U.S., the actual shadow. To stand in that shadow as the eclipse is happening, you are in darkness. I mean, the planets, the stars come out in the middle of the day. It's really a spectacular event. In order to do that, we needed to travel down to Kentucky. That's where this path of totality was happening. And so we thought, well, let's just get a bus. Maybe we can sell enough tickets to the bus. We can take 50 people down there. Well, one bus led to 2, led to 3, and we ended up taking 5 buses of people down to Kentucky, and one of the major TV stations locally went with us. And we made a real odyssey of it. And it was absolutely spectacular. We took our solar telescopes with us. We had 300 people there and provided food and beverage, and it was just a great day. And that'll come back. 2024 is totality is going to be here in Indianapolis. So I'm sure we'll do something big like that again.
That's fantastic.
Oh, it was.
And kind of transitioning into the importance of STEM with teaching younger students. There's been a lot of programming coming through. How does that personally make you feel? How does that tie in with the Institute as well?
Well, things are different today than when I was a kid. I mean, obviously. I mean, I was a kid a long time ago. And we were number 1 in the world in science and technology. When we were racing the Russians to the moon, those were some of the most exciting times in American history. And, those days are gone. And when you look at surveys and studies that are done on how American youth, middle school and high school youth compare in education with other countries, we're number 25 or number 30 in reading and science and engineering and technology. It's terrible. We have just evidently over the years fallen asleep at the wheel. I'm not quite sure what's happened. There are a lot of smart people in the Department of Education that are doing everything they can to change that trend, and it is certainly a trend. Mm-hmm. I believe that in order to support those efforts, that children need inspiration. Testing is important, but to be inspired, I believe, is the keystone of accomplishing something great in your life. To accomplish something significant, if there's something significant you wish to do as a young person, you say, this is what I want to do with my life. You have to commit to years of hard work, and there's always problems. There are always roadblocks. There are always people that tell you can't do it. It's not an easy journey. And so inspiration, deep inspiration, is required in order to see it through. It's just too easy to quit. And so we believe with space exploration, we can help inspire young people to take a very serious track toward pursuing careers in science and technology and making America number 1 again. And certainly the state of Indiana, making the state of Indiana take a leadership role in STEM education in this country is our mission at the Link Institute.
And to do that, you have some really exciting things coming up. Can you tell me a little bit about that?
We do. We are planning a world-class space science center to be built in Westfield, Indiana, called Grand Universe. It is in the Grand Park area, just adjacent to Grand Park. We certainly have deep support with Mayor Cook of Westfield and various individuals from the City Council. Chuck Lehman and Jim Ake have taken personal responsibility in helping us in this development, and we just couldn't do it without them. It is going to be absolutely magnificent. It sits on about 60 acres. The first stage of that projected development is the astronaut David Wolf Observatory, which includes a twin dome observatory with both world-class nighttime and daytime telescopes, the largest planetarium in the state of Indiana. Planetarium technology is absolutely spectacular. When we go back to the moon in 2024, and which I believe we will, everything's underway right now, we'll be able to, in that planetarium, we believe, we'll be able to place people at that landing zone, and with 360 live video, it'll just be absolutely a breathtaking experience. And we believe we're at the beginnings of the next space race. And if we can see results like the old space race produced, and inspiring an entire generation of people to pursue careers in science and technology, knowing that that's what happened the first time around, this is the second time around. And so it becomes imperative that we do something magnificent, something bold, and create this world-class space science center right here in Indiana. Indianapolis is one of the largest metropolitan areas in the country that doesn't have a space center, and we're going to change that.
And if people want to follow updates, or if they want to give in a way to help your future plans, how can they do that?
I think the best way to do that is to follow us on social media. We have a broad presence in social media. And certainly make contact directly with me at my email address that I just gave. And have a conversation. This is our vision. This is my vision. To build something this grand takes an entire community of people. It's more than just us. It will take the support of people that have vision, that can see this could be a game changer for this area, for the state of Indiana, for our youth. It's going to require that type of cooperative effort from a large group of visionary people, and I hope that they would make contact with me so we can tell them the whole story and together build something great.
Excellent. Is there anything else you'd like to add?
I think that this whole thing focuses on families and young people. And I say that because I believe that the education of our youth today is more than just school. It takes a family effort, that we need to work with our kids and participate with our kids in things that inspire our kids to do something great and significant with their lives.
What would you like to tell the kids listening right now? What would you like them to walk away with?
I'd like to give them the key to success in life, in anything in life. Dream big, work hard, and follow a plan. And if I could expand on that before we close. Dream big. You have to have a big dream in life. It just makes life worth getting up every morning. To have a big dream, something significant in your life as a young person that you want to do. Maybe you want to be a teacher or a doctor or an engineer, or it doesn't matter, an astronaut. Maybe you want to be one of the next people that goes to Mars. Whatever it is, get that dream and hold on to it. Never let it go. Don't let people tell you can't do it, because you can. Number 2 is work hard. Any significant endeavor in life takes hard work, long hours and years of effort, and don't ever give up. Number 3, have a plan. And as a young person, if you're 12 years old or 16 years old, you need to speak with someone, an adult, that can help you lay out a plan on how to get from where you are today to where you want to be in life. And lay this plan out so you can have this step-by-step process to follow and to be inspired to pursue those dreams and never ever give up. I believe that any of us, no matter where we're from, no matter what part of town we live in, all of us have the opportunity to dream big, work hard, follow a plan, and achieve greatness. All of us do.
Excellent. Thank you so much, Greg.
Oh, thank you. Thanks for having me.
October is Breast Cancer Awareness Month, and it seems like everyone knows someone who has been diagnosed with breast cancer.
My grandmother.
My aunt.
My cousin.
My friend.
My friend's mom.
My Aunt Tammy.
My great-grandmother.
My friend's mom.
My aunt.
According to the American Cancer Society, breast cancer, outside of skin cancer, is the most common type of cancer in women. On their website, it is estimated that in 2019, 271,270 people, both male and female, will have a new case of breast cancer discovered. To bring that to a more local level, the 2019 estimates for breast cancer for females in Indiana is 5,820 new cases. Since 1989, all the way up to 2016, the breast cancer death rates have dropped about 40%. If you want to find out more about these statistics and about breast cancer, you can go online to their website, which is cancer.org/cancer. And then from there, you select breast cancer from the tiles on the webpage, and it can tell you more about prevention and risk, early detection, and living as a survivor, and also so much more. The Indianapolis Making Strides Against Breast Cancer Walk will be this Saturday, October 19th. The day of check-in is at 9 a.m. with a walk starting at 10:30. The walk will be at Celebration Plaza, which is at 801 West Washington Street here in Indianapolis. The fundraising supports innovative research, supporting patients, and education and prevention efforts. And the cool thing is the website has a participation fundraising kit that has information and tons of ways to fundraise. My personal favorite way that they have in their A to Z fundraising is you get your boss involved, and every time someone asks them a question, the person asking the question has to give the boss $1, and then all of that money goes back to Making Strides. There is also an app in the App Store and Google Play Store that you can find out more information on at the website. If you want to find out more about the walk, you can go to RadioNOWindy.com. It's on our website, all the information. There's a really cool interview with Normani from Fifth Harmony, talking with her mom, who is a breast cancer survivor. October 15th is the end of Hispanic Heritage Month here in the United States. Back at the beginning of the month, which was September 15th, we talked with Marlene Dotson and Bernice Tenorio of the Indiana Latino Institute about what Hispanic Heritage Month is. Here's a little clip from that interview.
In America, Hispanic Heritage Month begins on September 15 all the way through October 15. It's a month where we remember, recognize, and honor all the contributions of Latinos has brought to America, through all the history. And we celebrate cultures, we celebrate our diversity, and all our differences, because we represent different countries. So we bring that all together and celebrate.
Excellent. No, yeah, just like Marlene just mentioned, it's just a moment. It's a time of the year where we can just celebrate and be a big family, a big happy Latino family.
As the month draws to a close, I hope you learned something that you didn't know about the Hispanic and Latino cultures. Thank you, Greg, for talking with me this week about what the Link Institute does in the community and what its programs and its reaches are to kids and to adults. And the event Greg mentioned, the Link Live, which will be at the Bridgewater up in Carmel, is October 25th at 7 p.m. You can find information on their website, which is linkobservatory.org. We hope to see you out at the Making Strides Against Breast Cancer Walk on Saturday, October 19th. Out at Celebration Plaza at 801 West Washington Street in Indianapolis. Make sure to log on to RadioNOWindy.com for more information and to sign up. I'm Emily Matheny. Thank you for joining me this week. If you have questions or comments, please email me at emetheny@radio-1.com. I look forward to hearing from you. Please listen next week when we talk more about what's happening in our community. And until then, have a great week.
Radio Now 100.9's Indy Connection with Emily Matheny.